Hi there, my name is Alyssa, and I am going to be walking you through 7 different artifacts that have made me into the person that I am today. You are currently balancing on my piano. My room is a mess. I would have cleaned it, but that is a part of who I am, and this is a personality video. My hair is a mess, and I would have done it a little neater, but this is a personality video, so we're going full in for this, okay? Yeah, I went over 27 different ways to do this, including Powtoons. I looked at various animation websites. I have signed up for more things than you understand, and I hated them all. So I have always kind of wanted to vlog for whatever reason, and we're gonna start today. Hi. So I've decided to start with family and friends. So you'll see different recordings, different videos, different pictures of family and friends here. And I grouped them together because they are people-based. They've probably influenced me the most because I'm a people-based person. But I do have different reasonings for why they have influenced me, different psychological reasonings. So for family, we'll start there, we'll start with parents. I put them in here as a behavioral theory or genetic approach for heritability because I have taken on a lot of their personality traits and actually a lot of negative constructs too, which fall more in the genetic category of things. So first, my dad loves science, he loves history, and my mom is really great with numbers, really good with math, always has been. And I think that those were two of the biggest things that I adapted from them, was that we all sort of have these likes and I kind of blended them together for them. But then I have things like, addiction runs in my family, things like that, where it is a genetic base, and if I were to get into something addictive, it would be because it's a family issue, and I would have a much higher chance of having that addiction. So they've influenced me personality-wise through that genetic behavioral theory. For friends, on the other hand, we have something more along the lines of the interjudge theory. So, my friends think of me a certain way, and that's influenced me to kind of be in that way. Even if sometimes I don't feel like I act like that, I know that if those people around me do, it does more tend to make me feel like I act like that in a sense. So, my friends always feel like I'm somebody that they can come and talk to, which is totally true, and I agree with that entirely, but it's been amplified by that thought process and the ideas behind it that they provide. Another one that I wanted to put in here was the phenomenological approach, and more specifically like the construals that we've discussed. So the reason that I feel like I've been so impacted by them is because mainly these are the friends that I have had not since forever, but more recently. So I've had to more focus on this moment and not past relationships, because when I was younger I moved around so much and it made more sense to do relationships right now. So we're not looking at past or future, we're looking at these relationships. And then in terms of the construals, I have engaged with these relationships and in my own way, which makes it feel more like it's my personal experience, which has impacted me more than anything. So yeah. So my second artifact that you'll see here are different clips of video games. And video games have actually been something I have loved since I was very young. I've played a lot of different ones, and these are some of my favorites that you're seeing now. But video games help with spatial reasoning and critical thinking, but they are also very interesting in terms of Big Five. So video gamers tend to have higher openness and higher conscientiousness, and these can actually be amplified by the types of video games you choose to play. So if you find a video game that has a really big map and there's a lot of searching in it, your curiosity is automatically going to be heightened by that, amplified by it. You can actually learn a lot of different traits too from playing video games. So me personally, I feel like my openness has risen quite a bit from video games. I think that my conscientiousness has. I think that my curiosity was already there as a child, and then video games really allowed me to open that up. So they really influenced me quite a bit and allowed me to open up as a person, allowed me to make new friends, which have also influenced me, and they've allowed me to really just, the game knowledge that you learn automatically in turn kind of helps you gather other knowledge, make connections with different topics and stuff like that. So it's definitely influenced me in terms of my big five and the way that I think and my ability to think and you know, just critical things like that. So video games have been really important to me, and that's why they were my second artifact. So for this next section, we will look at TV shows and movies. And I have a couple in here that actually I want to sound on because they have really, really wonderful lines in them that I love. And for this specifically, I wanted to talk about being an INFJ. So the Myers-Briggs type test talks about INFJs and all the 16 personality types. And these lines and movies and shows specifically really play on sensitivity, relationships, things like that, which are really, really big in an INFJ. So let's look at the first couple clips of the different shows that I personally really love.
And now you know me.
You know, it's funny. When you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags.
Let me go.
Free her. Do what you like, only free her. Have you no pity?
Your lover makes a passionate plea.
Please, Raoul, it's useless.
I love her. Does that mean nothing? I love her. Show some compassion.
The world showed no compassion to me.
So as you can see, these clips were both very intense. These shows were intense. They were based off of relationships and issues and trust and sensitivity and feelings. And they are honestly what made me feel like I identified as an INFJ. So not only did it help me realize that I was an INFJ, but I honestly think watching some of these at a young age made me blossom into an INFJ. It made me realize what my values were, and it made me realize what I found interesting, and that was feelings and relationships and things like that. And I think these shows really brought me to that fruition. So for this next one, I actually put in Indiana University, or school in general, for this artifact, based off of Erik Erikson's psychosocial development theory and his idea on social interactionism. So with all of this, I had to move out for college, and I moved into my own place, and I had to really grow up. I had to really mature. I had to become organized. I had to figure out how the bills work and how everything works like that. And it influenced me in the sense that it made me a lot more of an adult. As you do, you just grow up, you know, and his idea of individualism states that once we move out of the house and we stop having that guardianship, or even if we start going to school, you know, like preschool or something like that, we start to grow as people because we don't have that direct guidance anymore. You have to find your own way in the world. Based off of social interactionism, though, I think a lot of my peers in school and a lot of my teachers in school have offered me a new outlook on things, and, you know, provided me with some of the things I believe in, and provided me with, like, even my love of psychology. And so that has kind of influenced me as a person greatly, because it introduced me to my likes and dislikes. It introduced me to having to grow up and learn what to do as an adult. Things can be really sink or swim, especially when you go to college and you're dealing with FAFSA and money and stuff like that. And so going off to college in the sense of that psychosocial development really made me into an adult, basically, and it influenced me more than most things in my life, actually. So basically my next artifact is just my work shirt, which you can see a picture of here, But so that would be my like physical artifact. But this job I have had for 6 years. I'm a server there. And so I've grown up a lot in this restaurant. I've experienced a lot of things in this restaurant. And I have, simply put, just had personality development through life experience. I've been able to make friends there. I've been able to learn a lot about myself there. And my confidence has grown there strictly because it's had to, you know. I talk to people all day, every day. I've dealt with a million situations, and it's made me feel like I have grown in knowledge and experience in general, and, you know, what I can do and what I like to do and my capabilities. You know, learning a job inside and out really helps you as a person to see what you're good at and what you can become good at, and how easy it is to, you know, fall in love with something that you might have hated at first. So my next artifact actually involves money, and here you'll see a video of me attempting money origami for this video, and you can see it did not turn out so well. But in terms of money, ever since I was young, I have been really weird about money. As a child, I never had a lot of money, and we kind of bounced around a lot to different places, so it ultimately affected me as an adult because it's something I still worry about to this day, even if I know that I'm in good standing financially. So it's kind of affected my neuroticism, it's affected my conscientiousness, and actually it's affected my narcissism too. My narcissism dropped greatly because of it, which is kind of strange, kind of funny, but my narcissism in that regard is very low because I don't exactly have, you know, like this huge confidence that I have in a substantial amount of money or anything. And then my neuroticism, my conscientiousness have both raised dramatically. I am very conscious about where my money is going and how much I have and things like that, and I always have been since I was younger. And then my neuroticism, it is a source of anxiety and worry, and it is probably one of the main reasons why I am as neurotic as I am. It's just because, you know, ever since I was younger, I have worried about money, I've dealt with money problems, and something like that can genuinely just affect you as a person, whether you are 10 or 5 or 50, 60 years old, you know. So that is actually a big thing, a big influencer that I don't think about very often, but I know has impacted me quite a bit as a human. So for my last artifact, I have put in first a video of different crystals I actually have, and you can see right next to there's a salt lamp. So actually the last article is my spirituality. And I used like the crystals as like a physical artifact. But this is actually something that is relatively new to me. I'm really not a very religious person. There's like a kind of a big difference to me. I am more of somebody who kind of looks to the universe and believes in universal things and stuff like that. But really this is actually more of like a Jung type thing. I know Freud was pretty atheist, you know, against that kind of stuff. But Jung talked about transcendence, and then our positive psychology talked about transcendence. And Jung was just really, really a fan and idea proponent of spirituality. And so I really think that in regards to that, this has impacted me in a sense that it offers me that solution. Like in positive psychology, all of those different categories offer that solution to, you know, chaos or something of that sort. And that's kind of what this has done to me. And I don't want it to seem like I had a problem that I needed solved, but it was one of those things where like it does offer a level of comfort or a level of knowledge that I genuinely just believe in. I believe it's there to offer, you know, guidance and answers, and that everybody kind of needs that. And so that's impacted me in, you know, how calm I am and what I believe in as a person. My values changed, my beliefs changed in general, which is huge. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day.